Today we're going to look at an interesting problem with React. So there's this component counter where we've got our count being set by an override initially, and then we want to let the user play with this input after it's set initially. But it comes in asynchronously. So if you look at the code, it sets a promise, waits 5 seconds, sets it to 5. And you'll notice here that I've got it loaded and there's no 5. But I'm console logging the counter and the override is coming in as 5 on a render for the counter. So how can this be? Well, this is a great teaching moment in React because use state variables when they are initialized. They are initialized once and it's not on each render cycle. So even though component re-rendered, it didn't recalculate count. Count was already initialized on the first render, the first mount. So use state variables hold their state from the first mount. That is why this does not work the way it does. And this is why you need something like a store. If you have parent and child components manipulating the same state, the same shared variables, the same values, you need a store where they can both do this, because if you try to solve this problem just with the existing code, it's really, really hard. You have to think, what is it that I need to track about the counter component and about the override value? And if you think about it long enough, or if you're just super smart, you realize the thing you need to track is whether or not the previous override has changed. So if you're looking for a solution to this, I can't type, but that would be to set up another use state variable that is defining your initial override value. Initial here means not the first value we got from mount, it means the previous render. That's why I named it previous override. And then what you'd have to do is say has override changed, and you make this whether override is equivalent to the previous override. And then this code right here, the code between the top of your function and the code between the return of the JSX, that is all running on each render. That's why we got the 5 in the browser logs. So what you can do here is say if override is changed, I'll set our previous override to this new override, and I'll set the count to this this override as well. And it's undefined here, so we'll have to do nullish operator. But now if I save this and it reloads, oh sorry, does not equal, fun error. Then count will start at 1. 5 seconds later, it becomes 5. And you see that all ran on the render because we forced it to update on the render. But just know that when you call use state with a prop inside of it, if that prop changes, your use state will not change.